Today I'm going to review and range test this nice CB Radio Walkie-Talkie from Midland International Corporation. But before we get started, let's have an appropriate CB Radio introduction.
From April 1975, this is the 5-watt, 23-channel, Midland 13796 CB Radio Walkie-Talkie.
So let's go ahead and look at some of the features of the Midland 13796. We'll start out by taking off the case. Now let's take a look at the front of the radio. First we have the channel selector, squelch control, high and low power, and the volume and on and off switch. And here we have the battery power. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the side. You'll see that this is a full-featured CB radio. Here we have input for an external antenna. What you need is a connector like this with an RCA on one side and coax on the other side. And here you can connect a speaker mic, and here you can connect a speaker for a PA system. Looking at the other side, you have a selector for PA and CB, and here is your push to talk button. Now this is the back side of the radio. You can see we have an input for power, and this is for charging the battery. Let's go ahead and take off the battery compartment cover. Here you can see it holds 9 AA batteries, and right now I have it filled with rechargeables. As far as the antenna goes, this radio has a telescopic antenna that measures about 49 inches in length when fully extended. So those are the features for the Midland 13796. Now let's do a power check on the Midland 13796. First we're going to be on low power. And let's see what we get. 2 watts. 2 watts on low power. Let's go up to high power. Almost 4 watts, about 3.5 watts. 3.5 watts on high power. Now while we're at it, let's go ahead and check the match on my base station antenna. Can't ask for better than that. Radio check, radio check. This is the Midland 13796 from 1.2 miles away on low power. Audio, radio check.
Radio check, radio check. This is the Midland from 1.2 miles away on low power. Radio check. Okay.
Radio check. This is the Midland 13796 from 1.2 miles away using the stock configuration on high power. Audio, radio check.
I heard that.
Okay.
Radio check. This is the Midland 13796 from 1.2 miles away using the stock configuration on high power. Audio, radio check.
I heard that.
Radio check. This is the Midland 13796 from 1.2 miles away using an external mic. Audio, radio check.
Sounds good. Radio check. This is the Midland 13796 from 1.2 miles away using an external mic. Audio, radio check.
Sounds good.
Radio check. This is the Midland 13796 from 1.2 miles away using a rubber duck antenna. Audio, radio check.
Sounds good. Radio check. This is the Midland 13796 from 1.2 miles away using a rubber duck antenna. Audio, radio check.
Sounds good.
Radio check. This is the Midland 13796 from 1.2 miles away using an external mic and Wilson 1000 magnetic mount antenna. Audio, radio check.
Sounds good. Radio check. This is the Midland 13796 from 1.2 miles away using an external mic and Wilson 1000 magnetic mount antenna. Audio, radio check.
Sounds good.
Radio check. This is the Midland 13796 from 1.2 miles away using the internal mic and Wilson 1000 antenna. Audio, radio check.
Radio check. This is the Midland 13796 from 1.2 miles away using the internal mic and Wilson 1000 antenna. Audio, radio check.
So in summary, I think the Midland 13796 did a fantastic job. It's a very well-built CB Radio walkie-talkie, very solid, has all the bells and whistles that you need for use on foot, in your mobile, or maybe even as a base station. So the wattage was 3.5 watts, which I would consider as good for a radio like this. 4 watts is the maximum output. And I find that most of these radios, CB Radio Walkie-Talkies, have 3 to 4 watts of output. At least that's what you would want. I think those watts were definitely helped by this great long telescopic antenna. And I think the mic must be pretty good too, because the audio sounded very nice on the receive radio. So out of the radios of this era that I have, I think this is definitely one of the top performers. Another top performer was the Lafayette Dyna-Com 23, which did a fantastic job as well. So if you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments. Love to read and respond to your comments. And that'll about wrap it up for today. For now, Music Man 364 out here.